I want to move over, and we're not going to get into as many questions as I like, just because we're having such a good conversation so far. But Corrupt and I have been kind of talking in pieces the last few weeks about market rate and when you should start charging market rate. And I think you guys would be a good, if you're in a different market, you guys both been in the game for a while, play, primarily club DJs. I think for a lot of DJs, when you start doing clubs, maybe you don't charge as much, but everyone has heard about undercutting, right? You don't want to go into a place that has an established DJ and charge a lower rate, because now you've brought the market rate down and you've done a disservice to your area. But when you're first starting out, you may not charge as much as the headliner DJ because you're not that good, right? You haven't done anything to earn that type of money. So at what point in your career do you think do you really earn the market rate? Like, is it after 6 months? Is it after years? After you switch clubs for the first time? And I want to start with maybe, let's do James first, and then I'll hop over to Kombat and Fuse.
Well, the whole DJing for free thing, in the beginning, to maybe show what you can do, as long as you're not burning a DJ, taking some work away from somebody that you respect or you're trying to network with, and it's organized that way. I don't think there's anything wrong with playing some shows for free, get your name out there, but let that be short-lived, and you got to be a little bit, you got to hold your ground and know how to work out a deal to get some sort of compensation, and definitely don't ask for something too low too long, because then you are hurting the standard in the location that you're at. This happens so much, but usually that also means you're getting low quality. If the guy's coming in and playing for $100 or less, you're getting what you pay for, and a lot of us experienced DJs say that. But I would say, after you just get a little bit of being comfortable and the nerves go down, and you feel like you're controlling the room, I think, as long as you're not going to be the only one that agrees with that's in the room, I think you have a little bit of leverage there to discuss it. And then as far as like a promotion or a raise, you gotta build something. So when you do have that meeting, you can be like, all right, like, I'm starting to see more people, more of my friends are coming out. I see the bar sales are going up. You can try to keep track of bar sales. You can just be like, look, it seems like nobody ever says anything bad about my sets. I was hoping that we can get to this, because, like, this is ideally what I would be like to make as a DJ. There's different ways to go about it, but for sure, being aware of what other DJs around you are making, and making sure you're not booting people out or trying to boot people out, that you do not want that kind of bad blood in this industry. So that's pretty much, I answered your question a little bit and kind of went off on the whole free DJing thing, but I'm sure they'll have their own perspectives.
Let me ask this first. Maybe I'll start with this. Do we want to maybe talk about what the going rate, like what market rate in Columbus is, and then what market rate in Cincinnati is, or do we just want to avoid that altogether, because that can get crazy?
Well, like with COVID, it's even crazier.
We're not talking COVID. Yeah. We're talking peak 2019, summer 2019. Do you want to talk about what was the market rate for 4 hours at a club? Do you even want to bring those numbers up, or just if from Columbus,
I don't think it's relevant, because I feel like every dude is going to be different. And to go on that, I think the key term for all of this is value. What is your value, and what value is whatever you're DJing getting out of you? Even if you're just starting out and you're DJing fraternity parties in college, if you're DJing a nerdy fraternity and you're making it cool, and you play a couple parties there for free, and then they're like, we need you to come back. We need you to come back. Obviously, they value you. So maybe it's time that you can ask them for something too. And whether that's a case of Natty Light or, $50, it is just what it is. And I think that you know, kind of like what Corrupt was saying, like when you are in the club and you notice like, you know, bar sales are increasing. Let's say they ask you to play a Tuesday night, and you know they're like, we'll give you $100 to play a dead Tuesday night, and then you know your Tuesday nights that's now, you know, halfway full, and you know it's getting better. Maybe it's time to ask for some more money. Like, you know, clearly something you're doing is working. You know, and I think you can take that onto even busy nights as well. Like if I'm playing a Saturday night at a spot and like somebody is doing like coming in on a Saturday I'm not there and they're like it's getting better, then like clearly I need to step my game up. So like I haven't really been like ever worried about like somebody like taking my spot, like as far as like that kind of thing. And that's not even like an arrogance thing. Like that's just like I feel like I'm always trying to better, like be better and do better and like doing the things that I need. But like I think that like if you're adding value over somebody else, like as long as you're not undercutting what they're made, like I would rather somebody come to me and be like, look, like the spot you play at is like asking me to come play there, and like I just want to know like what you're like they're asking me to take your spot or like whatever, like what is it, like obviously at that point it's probably out of my control, so like I'm not going to be mad at that DJ, but I could see where other DJs would be mad at them. But
I really like the one takeaway is kind of an actionable item. If someone calls you to DJ where you're not going to them and saying, hey, let me DJ, I like that. That's maybe when you should make the switch to like charging market rate, or at least, you know, charging something. I really like
and I
that.
think there's certain places even like here that like the market rate for like that spot might be lower than like other spots in town, you know, like if you're, you know, like Richie's venue, Amigos is a smaller venue. He's not going to be paying what like places on the banks are going to be like willing to play that can hold, you know, 4 times as many people, you know?
I was just going to touch on that because there's a certain ceiling that your bar can reach or your establishment can reach. Like Amigos, I know what it's capable of on a really busy day all day. And I kind of know the ceiling that I'm sitting at. And then as opposed to like, if I pay for entertainment, it's sometimes, man, slow nights and everything like that, the entertainment will get more money. And it sucks for me as a DJ because I do make great money as a DJ. And I'm like, I want to hold it to a standard, but then I also have my ownership side where I'm running a bar and I'm kind of like, man, you know, this is all I can offer, but I'm up front with everybody. It's tough. It all just depends on where the ceiling cap is. Like Fuse was saying, places, the banks, man, there's places, the banks that make so much money and they're paying their DJs just a little bit more, a little bit less. Their entertainment, you know, it's that number fluctuates a lot.
And like,
go ahead.
That value, like Fuse was saying, is important. You know, build a relationship with the places you work at and be loyal to them. You know, a lot of them will be loyal to you. Just keep that relationship in good standing.
True.
Yeah, and I'm like sure that there's even things that like maybe even like Corrupt, like you and I could play the same spot. Like I could come to Dahlia and maybe I don't make the Corrupt rate because you're the resident. Like you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing too. Like sometimes there's just, you know, different circumstances with, you know, things or like different budgets or like not only that, like some people have established themselves not only like DJ wise, but like social media and like marketability and like, you know,
that's
like
important. You know, you could have the best DJ in the world, but if he doesn't have a following, doesn't bring business in, you know, cool, man. Send me your podcast. I'll listen to that, but I'm going to book a DJ who brings in 50 people.
Yeah, agreed. And we've seen that, you know, time and time again. Kombat, I wanted to ask you as an owner and someone who's booking DJs a little bit, let's say I've been working at Amigos a couple times for, let's call it $150 for 4 hours on a Wednesday night, right? $150 is what you're paying me. I've been doing that for a year. What was as an owner, what do you want to hear from a DJ who might ask you for a raise?
Well, I mean, I got to look at the sales, kind of put it on a graph and see if the sales are going up, what your overhead is. You know, obviously, if I'm working behind the bar, it cuts overhead costs on me paying for a bartender, et cetera, et cetera. If the numbers are right and they ask for money and I value them and I don't want to lose them, then yeah, I see nothing wrong with paying them more. As long as I see that they're, one, working, two, not getting hammered every single night. These are all things that when I was a DJ, I used to walk in and be like, like, I'm going to get my money. And now look at it as an owner, I'm like, man, there's a lot of different responsibilities. And there's a lot of things that I notice as DJs, like, kind of does annoy me. You know, when DJs just show up and get completely blacked out and don't do their job. I've seen it happen multiple times. I've done it multiple times. I definitely take responsibility for that. But I don't think there's ever been a time where I've been like so drunk that I can't DJ. Maybe once or twice, but it was like an all-day thing.
Yeah, I've been there once or twice.
But, you know, just as long as the sales are good, man, I'm stuck in a really weird venue in a really weird position to kind of get a good measurement on how to like book entertainment at my spot. My spot has gone more towards acoustic live music. Which I think is better. You know, I wanted to push DJs because I am a DJ. And then as time went on, I was like, this is not a DJ venue. And that was a big pill for me to swallow. And I'm okay with that because I was like, okay, I'd rather just have an acoustic, pay them the same rate. And it's more of a dinner venue. So like people aren't going to Amigos to dance and party unless it's Latin night, which that's a niche that we had before COVID. You know, that's a whole different animal.
You're going to have Amigos Dos.
But I will say, like, us as DJs, like as an entirety, like it's one thing to be playing in COVID times right now, like for like half your rate, especially when the bars like can barely even have half your people in there. But like when times get normal and things open up, every single DJ needs to be like, come with.
I agree with
Let's
that.
go.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, you know, big versus small venues is a big thing, but we like with Ohio State bars, and drinks are different prices and all that, like dollar bombs and all that. Like they're not making anything. So like if you're doing a campus bar too, you need to consider like the crowd that you're playing for, and you know if you're 2 or 3 sets or nights into a bar there, and you're trying to get paid, you might want to ask what the DJs are making there before you throw on like your downtown rate onto a campus bar or something like that.
Sure. One thing that's worked for me is, and we talked about value earlier, right? So if I think, hey, maybe it's time for a raise. I've been in this spot for 6 months to a year. You know, I've seen the crowd. I have kind of notoriety here. What I've done is you talk to the bar owner and maybe you say, hey, what was our sales you know, when I started, and what are our sales now? And maybe it's a slow, like a weekday night, and they started off and they were doing 2,500. I'm just using random numbers, and now they're doing 5,000 a night. And you can say, hey, I've kind of grown the business a little bit. I think it might be time for a raise. And they say, no, you're not ready yet, or we can't afford it. Now you have a chance to say, okay, well, we're at 5,000 now. If we get to 7,500 on any night, can I get a $100 bonus, a $200 bonus? Because to an owner, and Richie, you can speak to this, you think, man, if I'm making an extra 2,500, I don't mind, you know, shelling out an extra 100 and 200 bucks. It seems like a pretty good deal, and I'm not losing any money if we don't hit that mark. So you have to come about it the right way. Make sure you're handling all your business. Make sure you're not getting, you know, blacked out while you're DJ. Make sure you're showing up on time. Make sure you're doing all the things that a DJ should be doing, helping out. Make sure you're getting to know the guests and all that. But that's something that's worked for me. And Richie, would that work for something like for you at Amigos? I mean, I know again it's a smaller place, but principle wise.
Like I said, it's a little harder for me because I have a ceiling cap of, I know about how much money a good busy night will make. As the nights get busier, so do expenses, so do costs, so does labor, so does everything that else is involved with it. It all goes up. So with some place like that's smaller than Amigos is, I know I'm going to reach a certain ceiling and that's it. Now, if it was a big nightclub, you're like, all right, dude, you could make $40,000 this night. You can make $50,000. It's like, that's just not possible at Amigos. So
yeah. I'm saying in principle though, would that be like something you'd be interested in?
Oh yeah, 100%. As an owner, I would I would 100% take care of the DJs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I guess the takeaway is you're always trying to find ways to add value. That's a way you can show the owner, and you guys have a numeric amount to where you're saying, hey, here's the value that I've added. Obviously there's other things go into it, but here's the value that I've added. I don't deserve, but maybe we could talk about a bonus structure.
Yeah, the money's good. Sometimes a simple thank you from the business owner. Like, I know, randomly the business owner will walk up and be like, you're killing it right now. Sometimes that is like gratifying. Like, that's like, damn, all right, that feels good. Like, a simple thank you goes a long way.
And I know Corrupt feels that way when it comes to Petey, for sure.
Oh my gosh.
When's the last time Petey said thank you to you, James?
He has like a different way of saying thank you without saying thank you. So
just look over from the corner of the bar and give you the thumbs up.
Yeah, if I see him going like this, it's fine. We're good.
Petey's walked up to me like, buddy, you're costing me $10,000 right now. Like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
there's no song that will save that. So.
And then where can people find you both in person and online? Start with KOMBAT.
Online, my website that's super outdated is DJCOMBAT.com. But it's got my contact information on there. As far as Instagram, DJ_Combat. Twitter, same thing. Facebook, same thing. And then if you guys ever come down to Cincinnati, want to have good tacos, come to Amigos. And then Tin Roof, Sundays and Tuesday nights. I'm still DJing there on the regular, even during this COVID. So grateful for that.
Yeah.
Fuse?
FUSEAMANIA, pretty much at everything, except for I'm not too active on Facebook these days. But
don't blame you.
Yeah, dude, I can't take that. But Instagram and Twitter, I feel like, is actually kind of fun again these days. So I enjoy reading stuff on there. And then, FUSEAMANIA on, pretty much everything, Mixcloud, SoundCloud, whatever, and on FUSEAMANIA.com.
I want to move over to 614 releases. We did not have any releases that I saw. So again, please reach out to myself or Corrupt. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link where you can actually just put your release, your mix, your remix, all that. If you release an OG song, let us know so we can feature you. What I do want to feature is the shirt I'm wearing again is from Attention Machine Apparel. So again, nice. AttentionMachineApparel.com sent us the two shirts, and I originally thought that they were doing screen printing, and they can do that. However, they have like brand apparel for content creators. So you can see like this says the like, follow, subscribe, and they have other apparel items that you can check out. So, they're not in direct competition with 614 since they're not doing Columbus stuff, but wanted to shout them out and say thank you for sending the shirts. The guy who runs it is Cameron Williamson, and he is a DJ himself and a really good dude. So make sure you check out AttentionMachineApparel.com.
I do have a Lost in the Sauce release, Mike, that I want to shout out. Loom, a.k.a. DJ Pyro, spent a lot of time. Did a trap guest mix.
Changed the name. Did not know that.
Yeah, he did. He changed his name. It might be Lume. I got to find out. But I keep saying Lume.
His bougie ass, it is probably Lume.
So, yeah. He made a pretty good trap guest mix on there. So, check it out.
Well, dope, guys. We went over again. This seems to be a common theme lately. But we had two fantastic DJs in here. KOMBAT, Fuse, thank you so much for joining us and making the trip up 71 to be on the Columbus DJ podcast. And yeah, man, we're definitely gonna have some more of you guys as friends on here. And yeah, glad to have you.
Yeah, and thanks for having us. I really appreciate it. And if there's anything that I can help with or get somebody, guys, or connect you with that you might want, let me know. Like, I mean, even if it's somebody you're like DMS, I'm sure somebody would be glad to do the podcast.
Can you get me Diplo?
Oh,
damn.
Thomas Leslie?
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know about
for
that.
The stars.
Oh, never mind then.
KOMBAT's how you're walking.
Nah. See ya.
Guys, this is episode 26 in the books. Thank you so much for being here. Peace. We are out.
Thank you, guys.